Welcome to this week's deep dive into commercial real estate, brought to you by Eureka Business Group. We're your retail specialists here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. And we're excited to break down, some of the latest news impacting you, well, as a potential investor at least.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit to cover today, from the national landscape to what's happening, right here in DFW. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, great. So first, let's zoom out, right? Let's take a look at the overall health of the U.S. commercial property market. How are things looking nationally?
Well, I think despite some ongoing challenges, there are definitely some potential signs of recovery. I mean, prices, for example. Prices are on the rise. And that's fueled by, an increase in large-scale deals and an expansion of economic activity across various sectors, right? So this suggests that there's, growing confidence in commercial real estate, at least.
Yeah, that's encouraging to hear for sure.
Yeah.
But, on the other hand, it's important to stay informed about potential challenges too, right?
Yeah.
And I understand there's some concerns about rising CMBS delinquency rates.
Yeah.
Particularly, I think this is in the office sector.
Yes, yeah. So CMBS stands for Commercial Mortgage-Backed Securities, which are essentially, bundles of loans tied to commercial properties. So rising delinquency rate in this area, particularly in the office sector, kind of suggests that, well, while some sectors are, bouncing back nicely, others are still, facing some headwinds.
Okay, so we've got kind of a mixed bag, right, at the national level. I mean, with some positive signs of recovery, but also some areas that might require, a more cautious approach. Now, let's kind of shift our focus a little bit. Let's shift our focus to the DFW market, or where we are. What's the latest on the office market here? What are you seeing?
Well, the DFW office market is finally showing some signs of life, which is great. For the first time since 2022, we're seeing positive net absorption. And that means, more office space is being leased than vacated. So this is a significant turnaround, really, after years of stagnation. And it really does suggest a growing demand for office space in the region.
Wow, that's great news, really, for anyone considering investing in office properties here. What's driving this renewed demand for office space in DFW, do you think?
Well, North Texas, and Collin County in particular, is experiencing this sort of population boom, right? And this influx of people is attracting major corporations who are setting up their headquarters here. And that's, bringing new jobs. So this population and job growth is fueling demand for various commercial real estate sectors, including retail. More people means more need for places to work, places to shop, places to dine, which is, good news for investors, at least.
Yeah, it's all connected. And speaking of retail, I understand there's been this kind of surprising shift in Texas rent prices. We always hear about Austin being so expensive, but it looks like Dallas is kind of taking the lead there.
Yeah, for the first time since 2015, Dallas has overtaken Austin as the Texas metro with the highest rent prices. So this is interesting because it suggests this kind of shift, right, in the dynamics of the Texas real estate market. And it may, create opportunities for savvy investors. It's something to watch closely, if you're considering retail properties in both Dallas and the wider DFW area.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind for sure. Now let's dive into the world of retail, right? I mean, this is our specialty here at Eureka Business Group. What are some of the key trends that you're seeing, in this sector in particular?
Well, one of the most interesting trends, I think, is the explosive growth of, the secondhand market. It's become a $53 billion industry, and it's driven by, a growing preference for, sustainable and unique finds, especially among, younger generations. So this signifies a shift in consumer preferences towards, more conscious consumption and, creates opportunities for retailers who can, tap into this market.
Yeah, for someone looking to invest in retail, this secondhand market trend seems like a significant development. Are there any specific examples of how this trend is playing out in the DFW market, locally?
Absolutely. Companies like Plato's Closet and Uptown Cheapskate, for example, which specialize in, secondhand clothing and accessories, they're seeing success with, large store footprints, often in Class B shopping centers. So this suggests that there's a growing demand for these types of businesses and that they can be successful in a variety of locations.
That's a valuable insight for sure, for potential investors looking at retail properties.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting to see that even traditional retailers are they're catching on to this trend, right? American Eagle, H&M, Kate Spade, they're all incorporating resale into their businesses. Seems like a smart strategy to adapt to these changing consumer preferences and potentially, tap into a new revenue stream.
It certainly is, yeah. And while we're on the topic of, retail success stories, we can't forget about the fast casual restaurant industry, right?
Yeah.
Brands like Chipotle, Cava, and Wingstop. These guys are experiencing rapid expansion, record profits.
Yeah.
And,
That makes them, attractive tenants for shopping centers. Yeah, what's driving the success of these fast casual restaurants, in such a competitive market?
I think they're attracting, a pretty loyal customer base, honestly, by offering, quality food at affordable prices, all within a, convenient and efficient dining experience. So these brands are appealing to a wide range of consumers, and they're often, sought after tenants, right, by landlords who are looking to attract foot traffic and create, a desirable tenant mix.
Right. Yeah. Strong tenant mix can make a property more attractive, to investors. Now let's kind of shift gears for a second, and talk about a technology that's been making headlines across all industries, really. Artificial intelligence, AI. How is this technology impacting the retail landscape, do you think?
Well, AI is being used in a variety of ways to enhance, the retail experience. Companies like Lowe's, for instance, they're using AI-powered digital twins of their stores to optimize layouts, optimize operations, improving efficiency and potentially reducing costs. Walmart and Amazon are, they're kind of leading the charge in AI-driven logistics. So, streamlining their supply chains, enhancing delivery capabilities, things like that.
So AI is not just, this futuristic concept. It's already being implemented in practical ways that, are impacting the retail industry. That's fascinating. But AI's impact, I mean, it extends beyond retail, doesn't it? I mean, it's going into all these different areas.
Yes, yes, absolutely. The growth of AI, is creating a surge in demand for data storage facilities.
Mm.
And we're seeing companies, like DeepSeek, which is a Chinese AI startup, they're making waves in the tech world with their innovative technology that relies on, older generation NVIDIA chips. And this is making AI more accessible and affordable, which leads to, even more increased demand for data storage.
Yeah, I can see how that would happen. And this increased demand for data storage, I mean, it seems like it would have a significant impact on, the real estate market. Are there any notable developments in this area, would you say?
Well, there's the Stargate project, for example, which is a joint venture backed by, Oracle, SoftBank, and others. And they're aiming to invest $500 billion in new data centers. So this massive investment highlights, the scale of the AI boom and its potential impact on real estate. I mean, data centers require large amounts of space. They require specialized infrastructure. So it's creating opportunities, for developers and investors. However, there are also some, challenges associated with this as well.
What kind of challenges are we talking about here?
Well, supply chain bottlenecks
Yeah.
and a shortage of, skilled labor are making it, difficult to keep up with the rapidly increasing demand for these data centers. These challenges, I think, underscore the importance of, careful planning, careful execution for any project in this sector.
So while there's, potential for profit, investors need to be aware of the complexities.
Involved in data center development. Now shifting gears to the industrial sector, right? We've seen this continued boom in e-commerce and a trend toward, reshoring, bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. How is all of this impacting the industrial real estate market?
I mean, the industrial sector is experiencing, really robust growth thanks to these trends. Investors are drawn to, industrial properties for, their stability and their consistent growth. E-commerce requires, vast warehouse and distribution centers. Reshoring is bringing manufacturing facilities back to the U.S., all of which contribute to a strong demand, really, for industrial space
Yeah, but even in a strong sector like industrial, there's always a need to adapt.
to
Yeah.
evolve, right? What are some of the key trends that you're seeing kind of shaping the industrial real estate market today?
One of the key trends I think is the rise of, flex space, which allows tenants to kind of customize their industrial spaces to meet their specific needs. And this flexibility, I think, is attractive in today's, rapidly changing business environment. Another important trend, I think, is reshoring itself, right? Which is creating opportunities for developers and investors to cater to the needs of these manufacturers who are, returning to the U.S.
Okay, so for someone, interested in industrial real estate, I mean, understanding these trends is crucial, right, for making those informed investment decisions. Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's talk about the financial landscape. which can be, a bit uncertain at times. Interest rates have been a hot topic lately. What's the latest thinking on where rates are headed?
Well, there's a lot of, discussion, right?
Yeah.
About whether interest rates will stay, higher for longer or eventually return to what we might consider normal levels. It's a key consideration for real estate investors because interest rates directly impact borrowing costs and can influence, property valuations.
Yeah, that's a crucial point for sure. What what insights can you offer to our listeners who might be, concerned about the impact of interest rates on their investments?
Well, while, some investors are feeling apprehensive
Right.
about the potential for rates to remain high, historical data kind of suggests that, this recent increase in rates might simply be a reversion, right, to the long-term average. If that's the case, it could, signal a normalization of the market rather than a sustained period of, high interest rates. It's important for investors, I think, to consider the bigger picture and not get caught up in short-term, market fluctuations.
Yeah, that's a valuable perspective. So while it's essential to stay informed, about interest rate movements, a long-term view, can help investors make, more strategic decisions. Now, besides traditional financing options, are there any alternative financing avenues, emerging in the commercial real estate market?
Yeah, we're seeing this, surge
Yeah.
in short-term property financing
Right.
from non-bank lenders. And this surge, indicates that borrowers they're seeking those alternative financing options, especially with, traditional banks remaining cautious in the current economic climate.
Okay, yeah, this increased activity from non-bank lenders, I mean, it seems like a positive development, right, for borrowers who might not qualify for, traditional loans. It also suggests, a dynamic and evolving lending market which could benefit, those who are seeking creative financing solutions. Now, before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, let's kind of recap, what we've covered so far
Okay.
about the national commercial real estate market and the trends that are, shaping the DFW market.
Sure, yeah. I mean, the U.S. commercial real estate market is, showing those signs of recovery with prices trending upwards, increased activity, in large-scale deals. However, it's important to, be aware of the potential challenges, like those rising CMBS delinquency rates, particularly in the office sector. Now, in the DFW market, we're seeing some positive signs, in the office sector with increased demand for space, driven by, population growth and corporate relocations. The retail sector is also, experiencing growth with the rise of the secondhand market and the continued success of fast casual restaurants.
Right. And we've also discussed the impact of AI,
Yeah.
right, on the retail landscape
Yeah.
and the broader real estate market, creating those opportunities in areas like data storage facilities. The industrial sector is also, quite robust thanks to that e-commerce boom and that trend towards reshoring.
Yeah, it's a dynamic market, really, with opportunities and challenges. And staying informed about, the latest trends, working with experienced professionals like, Eureka Business Group can help investors make, more strategic decisions.
That's a great point. Understanding the nuances of each sector, recognizing potential challenges, working with experts. I mean, it can make a significant difference. Now, as we head into the next part of our deep dive, I'm curious to explore some specific examples of successful projects and developments in the DFW market. Stay with us as we delve deeper into the exciting opportunities available in this vibrant region.
Yeah, we'll get into some of those specifics next. Yeah, before we move on to the specific projects, I'd like to add that this surge in short-term property financing from, non-bank lenders, it really signifies a dynamic and evolving lending market. And, that can benefit borrowers who are seeking alternative financing options. It's
Yeah.
about finding the right fit for your specific needs and circumstances.
That's an excellent point. Having options is always a good thing, especially in today's market.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned some exciting projects and developments that are happening in the DFW market. Can you share some specific examples that illustrate these trends that we've been discussing?
Absolutely. Let's start with the industrial sector. There's this massive project underway in Rockdale, Texas. It's a 5,300-acre advanced manufacturing site being developed on a former aluminum smelter site. So it's a testament to the reshoring trend that we talked about earlier, and it really demonstrates the scale of investment that's flowing into the sector.
Wow, that's a huge project.
Yeah.
What makes this site particularly attractive for manufacturers?
Well, it boasts abundant power, water rail, and interstate access. essential infrastructure for large-scale manufacturing operations. But it's not just an industrial park. It's being marketed as a mixed-use super site with
Yeah.
plans for residential, retail, office, hospitality, and leisure facilities.
That's fascinating. Integrating those different elements into a single development creates a more holistic environment for businesses and their employees.
Mhm.
It's a smart move that recognizes the interconnectedness of various aspects of life and work.
Exactly. And
Right.
and this type of, integrated development can be a real draw for companies looking to relocate or expand. It offers convenience, a sense of community, and the potential for increased productivity. It's
Huh.
it's a win-win for everyone involved. And speaking of, strategic moves, another company making headlines in the industrial sector is EQT Exeter.
We touched on their decision to shift their focus entirely to industrial real estate earlier. Can you elaborate on why this move is so significant?
Well, EQT Exeter is a major player in the real estate industry, and their decision to pull out of multifamily investments and go all in on industrial underscores the confidence that institutional investors have in the long-term growth potential of industrial properties. So it sends a strong signal to other investors that this sector is a smart bet in today's dynamic market.
So for someone looking to, diversify their portfolio or enter the commercial real estate market, I mean, industrial properties seem like a very attractive option. Now let's shift gears again and talk about the financial landscape. We talked earlier about the uncertainty surrounding interest rates, and some investors are concerned about the possibility of rates staying higher for longer. How can investors navigate this uncertainty and make informed decisions?
It's understandable that investors are feeling a bit apprehensive. The recent run-up in U.S. Treasury bond yields has certainly added to the uncertainty. However, it's essential to consider the historical context. The data suggests that this recent increase in bond yields may simply be a reversion to the long-term average, and this perspective encourages, informed decision-making rather than reacting to short-term fluctuations.
So while it's important to stay informed, about interest rate movements, a long-term perspective can help investors make, more strategic decisions. Now, we've talked a lot about the industrial sector. What about retail? What are some of the opportunities and trends that you're seeing in the DFW retail market?
Well, the DFW retail sector remains strong. The
Hi.
population growth, demand for convenient and high quality retail experiences and the adaptability of businesses to meet those demands all point to a positive future. And don't forget the role of technology in shaping the retail landscape. AI is already revolutionizing, supply chains, store layouts, and customer experiences.
You're right. Keeping up with these technological advancements is crucial for retailers and investors alike.
Mm.
Now, earlier you mentioned the rise of non-bank lenders in the commercial real estate market. Can you elaborate on the benefits that they offer to borrowers?
Yeah, non-bank lenders are often more willing to take on risk, which can be, beneficial for developers and investors looking for, creative financing solutions. And their flexibility can be a real asset in a market that's constantly evolving. They provide alternative financing options for borrowers who may not qualify for traditional bank loans, which increases liquidity in the market and provides more options for borrowers.
That's great for borrowers seeking funding for their projects.
Yeah.
Now let's zoom back in on the DFW retail scene. We talked about the success of fast casual restaurants and resale concepts. What are some other trends that are catching your attention?
One trend I find particularly interesting is the growing popularity of food halls. These curated culinary destinations offer a diverse mix of dining options, often with a focus on local and artisanal vendors. And they're becoming social hubs, drawing crowds with their vibrant atmosphere and unique culinary
It's
experiences.
it's like a modern take on the traditional shopping mall food court, but with a much more elevated and sophisticated vibe.
Precisely. And these food halls are often strategically located in high traffic areas like mixed use developments and revitalized urban districts. So they're becoming anchors for these developments, attracting foot traffic and creating a sense of community.
It sounds like a smart strategy for developers who are, looking to create vibrant and attractive destinations.
Yeah.
It's a great example of how, creative retail concepts can revitalize areas and drive economic growth. Now, we've all heard about the challenges that brick and mortar bookstores are facing with the rise of online retailers. I mean, is there any hope for these traditional bookstores?
Absolutely. Brick and mortar bookstores are making a comeback. There's something special about the experience of browsing a physical bookstore, discovering new authors and connecting with fellow book lovers. And smart retailers are capitalizing on this resurgence of interest in physical bookstores.
What are these bookstores doing to adapt and thrive in the digital age?
Well, they're creating, welcoming and engaging spaces. They're hosting events and offering a carefully curated selection of books that appeal to their target audience. They're incorporating cafes, co-working spaces, and other amenities to enhance the customer experience. So they're becoming community gathering spots, blurring the lines between retail and lifestyle destinations. So it's a great example of how brick and mortar retailers can adapt and thrive in the digital age by offering a unique and valuable experience that online retailers simply can't replicate.
And it's encouraging to see these traditional businesses adapt and find new ways to connect with customers. Now, before we move to the final part of our deep dive, I think it would be helpful to recap some of the key takeaways from our discussion so far.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we've covered a lot of ground, from the overall health of the commercial real estate market to the specific trends that are shaping the retail and industrial sectors in DFW. We've seen how factors like population growth, technological advancements, and shifting consumer preferences are driving change in the market. We've also highlighted the importance of adaptability, innovation, and strategic decision making for both businesses and investors. The commercial real estate landscape is constantly evolving, and staying ahead of the curve is essential for success.
We've also seen examples of how different sectors are converging, creating exciting new opportunities for investors who are willing to, think outside the box. The 5,300-acre mixed-use development in Rockdale and the resurgence of food halls are just two examples of this trend. Now, as we move into the final part of our deep dive, let's shift our focus to the future of commercial real estate and explore some of the emerging trends that will shape the industry in the years to come. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into commercial real estate. With Eureka Business Group, we've covered a lot of ground today, from national trends to specific developments right here in DFW. Now let's kind of look ahead a little bit, right, and consider what the future holds for commercial real estate. What are you thinking about?
Well, one of the most fascinating and potentially disruptive trends I'm seeing is the convergence of various real estate sectors. The lines are blurring between traditional categories like retail, office, and industrial. We're seeing these mixed use developments that seamlessly integrate these sectors, and it's creating these vibrant and dynamic communities.
Yeah, we discussed that 5,300-acre advanced manufacturing site in Rockdale, Texas, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great example of this trend. It's not just an industrial park, but a mixed-use super site with plans for residential, retail, office, hospitality, and leisure facilities. And this kind of integrated development is becoming increasingly common. What's driving this convergence, do you think?
Well, it's a combination of factors, really. The rise of e-commerce, for instance, that's blurred the lines between retail and industrial, creating a need for logistics and distribution hubs that are integrated with retail spaces. The shift towards remote work and flexible work arrangements, that's prompting companies to rethink their office needs. So that's leading to the development of co-working spaces and mixed-use environments that cater to a more mobile workforce.
And let's not forget the growing demand for experiences. People want to live, work, and play in vibrant communities that offer a mix of amenities and opportunities.
Yeah.
And these integrated developments cater to that demand, right? Creating a sense of place and fostering a strong community spirit. I mean, this all sounds very promising for the future of real estate. But I imagine this convergence also creates new challenges for investors.
Absolutely. It requires a more holistic and integrated approach, I think, to real estate investment, one that considers the interconnectedness of different sectors and the evolving needs of businesses and consumers. It's no longer enough to specialize in just one type of property. Successful investors will need to understand the broader market dynamics, the interplay between different sectors, and the factors that are driving demand in specific locations.
So for someone looking to invest in commercial real estate, a deep understanding of the market and a willingness to adapt to these emerging trends are pretty crucial, it sounds like. It seems like working with experienced professionals who can provide guidance and insights would be invaluable in this kind of evolving landscape.
Absolutely. Navigating the complexities of the commercial real estate market requires, expertise, requires market knowledge, a network of trusted professionals. That's where, Eureka Business Group comes in. As your retail specialists in the DFW market, we offer, a wealth of experience and knowledge to guide you through, every step of the investment process.
That's right. Our team at Eureka Business Group is dedicated to helping you, find the right opportunities, navigate the complexities of the market, and achieve your investment goals. Whether you're interested in retail, industrial, office, or mixed-use developments, we have the expertise and the resources to support you.
This deep dive has provided a comprehensive overview, I think, of the current state of the commercial real estate market, both nationally and here in DFW. But as you consider your investment strategies, we encourage you to think beyond traditional categories and explore the exciting opportunities that are emerging at the intersection of these sectors.
The future of real estate is about connectivity. It's about adaptability and creating spaces that foster a sense of community and enhance the human experience. So if you're looking for, expert guidance and tailored solutions for your real estate needs in the DFW market, don't hesitate to reach out to us at Eureka Business Group.
We're here to help you navigate this, exciting and dynamic industry and make informed decisions that align with your, investment goals.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the world of commercial real estate. We look forward to connecting with you and helping you unlock the potential of the DFW market.